So Order 66 released 2 weeks ago, and in the first 2 weeks or so, Bad Batch was bugged, and the modifier at Relic 9 was being attributed to all of the tiers of the raid, which was effectively making Bad Batch easier to use than they were initially intended to be used. And CG did fix that this week, and I will say, listen, I'm never against a bug fix. Um, and we have found that the Bad Batch team is so much more difficult. Um, like I think it just took me so long to do the battle myself, and I want to talk about it because, um, again, it has nothing to do with the bug fix itself, but really just how counterintuitive Bad Batch is to the raid modifiers. Um, I know some people have said, "Oh, well, Bad Batch were kind of just tacked onto the Order 66 raid, and something else was intended for them that didn't work out." Um, I'm not gonna really discuss, conspiracy theories. It's not my thing. Um, but I do just want to kind of go over the Bad Batch kits in relation to how the raid works and just how not great that they feel, playing them now if you don't currently have them at R9. Okay, so we're talking Bad Batch here, new Bad Batch to be specific, and how they work in the raid, and how difficult it has become to use the Bad Batch team if they are not currently R9. Because again, the issue, the bug, was that the R9 faction bonus was being given at all tiers. So if you already had them at R9 and you were doing them at R9, you're completely fine. You're completely unaffected. And the problem isn't that there was a bug fix. The problem is that the Bad Batch team just feels bad to use. And that sucks because even though, CG signaled us with bonus drops and really pushed the team and made it easier for us to get them, they still are a new team that required a heavy Kyrotech investment. They still are a team that a lot of people monetarily invested in, and they're just terrible to play. Um, the raid server, bless their hearts, they have beaten all of the tiers at with the new changes. So we do know it's possible. I have personally beaten the Relic 7 tier, so I do know that that is possible as well. I will say that it took me about 2 hours, and that just blows just so badly. And while I have already finished my raid, so we can't do raid runs and just like throw shit at the wall, and I'm sure my modding isn't super hyper specifically exactly what it should be, and people in the comments are gonna be like, well, this guy's speed has to be blah blah blah. The point that I want to try and make here with showing my modding for Bad Batch in the new era isn't that they're perfectly modded, but they are intentionally modded. I did throw like very good speed mods at them. I did throw very good GL mods at them for their given sets to try and make sure, that they had what they needed going into the raid. And um, will I change that in a couple of days as we get more information? I'm sure I will. But that's not really the point that I'm going to be trying to make here. Um, so these are my five. This is what they look like. I will say that with the intention of doing this filming this morning, I already have at least one of my guildmates who have reached out to me and said, hey, I think I'm quitting the game after this because I'm not spending this much time doing the raid. It's too frustrating. Um, well, let's pull this up. These are the NuBatch core mechanics, right? And these are the things that we need to keep in mind for NuBatch, for the raid, for outside of the raid, for conquest. So if you're here just to read this, you're going to learn something about the team. Technically there are 4 core mechanics for the NuBatch team, the 4th being capture. And the way that capture works is that when you get captured, when the first time a Bad Batch enemy gets killed, they instead get captured, and for every turn your team takes, that capture mechanic goes down. But if you lose stacks of the other thing before that happens, your guy dies, right? And we'll look at the actual mechanics of that, but it's not really important to what we're talking about. The first is target practice. And the way that target practice works is successive hits on the same enemy equals 1 stack. Okay? Each stack is 5% crit chance in offense, 10% crit damage per stack, right? Awesome. The second is marked. It's applied by hunters, first special. It's applied by batchers, specials. And it's essentially a forced taunt on the enemy. And it's pretty inlaid in the kit. Other characters in the kit get bonuses if enemies are marked. And then the third thing is Shaken. And this is Crosshair's thing where he starts the battle with Shaken. His accuracy really sucks. And it's removed through using his special 1, and removed through target practice stacks. So if you're like me and you're like moderately smart, you're thinking, okay, I have a team where I'm going to apply marked. I have a team where I'm going to apply and build up target practice as much as I possibly can. I have a team where I want to get Crosshair out of Shaken as quickly as I possibly can. Right? Those are kind of like the 3 things that you're thinking about when you use Bad Batch. And if you're thinking about those things, you're at least moderately intelligent. The one thing I want to add with target practice that I forgot to mention is that if you hit an enemy that you did not previously hit in the turn before, you lose all of your stacks. Unless you killed the enemy, in which case you can restart the cycle without having to, restart your stack. There are some problems with this, though. The way that the raid works is you need to kill a bunch of clones, and then you need to attack Darth Vader, shake his hand or whatever so he doesn't kill a Jedi, and then do it all over again. Unfortunately, number 1, Darth Vader or Lord Vader counts as a targeted enemy. And what that means is that essentially every single time that you start a new phase, you lose all stacks of target practice. There is no trick. You can't kill Lord Vader. You've hit Lord Vader 3 times. You move to start killing clones again. All of your target practice is gone. All of that increased damage, everything that you want to do with this team is completely and objectively just gone. It sucks, right? There's no AoE trick. You can't use Wrecker's AoE to hit a bunch of characters, because even if one character getting hit was not a character who was hit previously, all of those stacks are gone, right? So there's no trick to it. You lose your target practice no matter what you try to do. The second thing here is marked. And if we go into the game and we go to the modifiers for this raid, we see right here, okay, right in the gear 12, right in the easy tier, Lord Vader gets a lovely new move. Whenever an Empire ally is marked, dispel it, and that ally stealths for 1 turn. So effectively, our 1 Bad Batch modifier, target practice, is neutered, right? Because of the way the phases work. And then your ability to mark and attack enemies and even use your special abilities kind of gets neutered with this raid, right? So we look at, let's pull up these Bad Batch. We look at Hunter Mercenary with his Take a Shot. Okay, if no enemies are marked, inflict marked on the target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be evaded. All Bad Batch allies gain offense up and protection up. Call all Bad Batch attacker allies to assist, dealing 30% less damage. Can't use it, right? You can, if you have the turn meter just so exactly specific that you're going to kill Fox or Oppo with using this ability. But otherwise, can't use it. It's effectively useless to you. The same thing with Batcher, with the ferocious, no, not ferocious bite, with piercing howl. All Bad Batch allies gain 30% offense for 2 turns, dispel all buffs, and inflict mark on the target enemy for 2 turns. Inflict ability block on all enemies inflicted with off balance, and offense down on all enemies. Lovely move. Can't use it, right? You can. You can use these abilities and use them against not Oppo and not Fox. But the reality is you need all of your turns to take those 2 characters down, right? Because we've all seen in the Order 66 raid, those first 60 seconds, that first set of rounds of abilities, it makes or breaks your run. If you don't kill the right character at the right time, your entire team is effectively dead because everybody's just getting Order 66. They're gone and you have to reload. And that's fine because each attempt and each reload takes about 30 seconds total. But it's annoying when your core mechanic of your squad is effectively useless. Now, you do get the ability to use marked again, which is nice through modifiers, but you don't get it until rank 9, right? Relic 9. So between G12 and Relic 9, one of your major core mechanics for your squad is just gone. This isn't a bonus. This is the thing that your team does. We're giving it back to you. And that makes Bad Batch feel bad, right? 100% accuracy, awesome. That's a bonus. Lord Vader gains 10 stacks of execute, awesome. That's a bonus. Stealth characters deal 50% more damage. Non-stealth characters take 50% less damage. Awesome. Those are all bonuses. Whenever an enemy dispels marked, they are marked for 1 turn. That's not a bonus. That's just letting my team do the thing that they're supposed to do, right? That's problematic. That's an issue. And then we have our third mechanic, which is Shaken, okay? And Shaken is basically Crosshair's whole thing, where we'll pull him up. Crosshair hits for nothing. He has like no accuracy, right? Shaken, where is it? He removes 1 stack of Shaken. I don't know where it says it. It might be in this ability. I think it's negative 10%. There it is. Negative 10% accuracy. We have problems here. 1, you lose it because of target practice. Awesome. But you can't keep target practice on your characters, right? Problematic. You lose it by using his special on himself, right? Deal physical damage to target enemy, dealing 10% more damage for each relic amplifier Crosshair has. Call target Bad Batch ally to assist, dealing 50% more damage. If Crosshair was the target, he is not called to assist and removes 6 stacks of Shaken from stealth and stuns the target enemy for 1 turn. Lovely. Okay, the problem here is 1, he's not doing any damage with that attack unless you call somebody to do damage. And if you call someone to do damage, he's not taking away any target practice stack. Essentially, the squad just feels rough to play now. There is this dead zone between this bottom tier all the way to Relic 5, where it is slightly easier at Relic 5 because of this faction bonus. 40% accuracy, that's a bonus. 25% max health, that's a bonus. Stealth characters deal 25% more damage. That's a bonus, right? But you still lose the core mechanic of the squad. This goes back to what I've been saying for 15 minutes in this video and for about a year with certain updates like the community update. Um, it just feels bad when you give us a squad, tell it how it works, tell us how it works, and then you say, oh, the things that it does, you can't do them. And there is this huge dead zone between Relic 5 and Relic 9 where it is effectively so terrible to play those tiers. Now, I have beaten the Relic 7 tier. I stayed up all night. I tried it without remodding, and without remodding, they're above average but not perfect. I tried it with remodding, and with remodding, again, you saw my mods, my remodded mods. They may not be the perfect mods, but they are what we had on the first day, and they are GL level, very high level, high speed, high effectiveness mods. It still took considerable luck. And I'm going to be honest here, I actually was pretty gung-ho about bringing Bad Batch to Relic 9 and getting them there. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to reward this behavior. It sucks. Realistically, what I think should happen is there needs to be another Bad Batch modifier in here. And we need to stop with this no mark shit. Like, if anything, if you are insisting on this, if this is a hard, nope, we're doing this, we need to have marked back in the Relic 5 tier. Okay, because Relic 0 to Relic 5 is fairly free-to-play friendly. It's not the worst thing in the world. Most players in this game can do that. Even if they're spending, whether they're not spending, they can do that, and it doesn't hurt them. Saying that your core mechanics of your squad are not accessible until here, it's a problem. So there's two changes that I would make to make Bad Batch not feel like cancer. Number one, I would not count Lord Vader as an enemy. Hitting Lord Vader should not take away stacks. It should not give stacks. It should just be a thing that happens. You hit him, doesn't count it as an enemy. Target practice doesn't change between them. Or at the very least, depending on the spaghetti code, in between each round, it counts as killing Lord Vader, so that you can start retargeting characters. That's change number one. Change number two, if you're not going to give us this, our core mechanic of the squad, that needs to be in this faction bonus on Relic 5. You need to give us the core squad mechanic, or this is going to be a very, very, very miserable year for the players who have chosen Bad Batch. I don't love or hate this raid. I do like that it takes a lot less time overall than Naboo. I like that your refreshes happen in the first 30 to 60 seconds of a run and not the first 10 minutes of a run like Naboo. I hate the fact that this team, I know, unless I bring them to Relic 9, is going to take me a huge amount of time every single week for the next year. And I know already, again, I've said it, I already woke up to an inbox message from a guildmate telling me, hey, I think I'm quitting the game. There are going to be people that get frustrated by this type of thing being put in after such a positive fanfare to the initial raid stuff, that they are going to get fatigued. and leave. So TG, I like, please do us a solid here. We did the relic levels. We brought them up. Just don't make it miserable, right? Jedi Master Mace Window Squad, not miserable. Clone Squad, not miserable. Pirate Squad, presumably not gonna be miserable. Keller and Beck and Jocasta New Squad. I mean, there's some refreshing you have to do, but it's not miserable. Do not make Bad Batch miserable for us. Do not make it this so incredibly unfun for players that use this squad. I am literally begging you. With that said, everybody, let me know. Hit me in the comments on Discord. Do what you got to do. Let me know what you think. If you disagree with me, that's fine too. I just do it not in a rude way. With all of that said, peace out. Have a great rest of your day.